This is how it feels to be with a covert narcissist. Covert narcissists are wolves in sheep's clothing. They may appear to be kind and friendly, but they are actually extremely dangerous and malicious. They may pretend to help, but they are actually spying on you. They are duplicitous. They may outwardly look harmless and kind with good intentions, but inwardly they are full of hate, evil and deceit. They will try to gain and hold on to power for their own selfish reasons. They will use and abuse relationships solely for the purpose of gaining control, because they do not want to empower people with freedom and truth, and they would rather keep you confined so that they can continue using you. The covert narcissist will rob you of everything until you lose all hope and happiness, as well as money and possessions, which leaves a sense of isolation, because they will lead you astray. They will make you believe things that are not true to cause you to make a wrong decision. They will encourage you to do bad or illegal things that you would not normally do. They will entice you into sinful ways. They will misguide you. They will warp, pervert, beguile, delude, corrupt and misinform you to cause you to follow the wrong path or direction. They will tell you whatever they want to tell you. They will say things to benefit themselves so that they can rob you of your time, money and resources, or whatever else they need. They will fool you, to exploit your innocence or naivety, to take advantage of you, to play you in a scam. They will engage in dishonest schemes because they are fraudsters. So they will intentionally deceive you to secure unfair or unlawful gain, or to deprive you of a legal right, because they are fraudulent. They engage in criminal deception, to where they are unjustifiably claiming or are being credited with particular accomplishments or qualities. They're dishonest, cheating, swindling, corrupt, criminal. They trick people into giving them some advantage that puts them in a favourable or superior position or condition, a better position than they were in before, that they do not have a right or legitimate claim to, or that they are not inherently deserving of, which means that they're not even real people. They're not genuine. They're just an imitation, a copy, a sham. They're a fraud, a hoax, a counterfeit. And they may have been doing this for a very long time. So even what you thought they were was just something they made in order to deceive you. It was a deceptive outward appearance to persuade you that something false is the truth, because that is their narcissistic supply. They don't get anything by showing you the real them. It does nothing for them, because underneath their facade they're just dirty, rotten scumbags. And this is why once you get to know them, their behaviour is very offensive and unpleasant, because that is the real them. The real them is not worthy of anything. But when they can trick, deceive, mislead or frustrate by hand-to-handness, then they start to feel like there's something. Because they can only feel good by making you believe that there's something they're not. The real them is corrupt, dishonourable and unprincipled. They're morally depraved. They dishonestly use their position or power to gain an unfair advantage, to maintain their good reputation of honesty and good morals, when underneath that they lack character and integrity. They are not exceptional in any way, and they are not trustworthy. They have no beliefs, values or morals. They will do anything if they think they can get away with it, rather than doing what is right or morally correct. And they will always find a way to justify it. They will always try to make it seem acceptable, as though it's something you should bear, tolerate and allow. But really they are making a fool out of you. And by believing them and by letting them deceive you, you are making a fool out of them, and they are fooling themselves. Because the reality is that they just lack self-awareness, consciousness and perception, which is why when they fool you they're still not happy. Because it's just caused them to become even more unaware of themselves and even less conscious, to the point where they lack feeling and sensation. Because in order for them to function, they have to remain unself-conscious. They can never be aware of themselves, which means that they can never truly experience anything directly, because they're not even connected to themselves. They need a source of supply to validate their false self, to make them feel attractive, desirable, powerful, intelligent or important, someone who will filter everything through them, so that they can live vicariously through that person. And this is their narcissistic supply. where they have to fuse with another person and steal their life force in order to feel alive. Because they're corrupt. They're infected and contaminated. They're gradually deteriorating physically, mentally and morally. They're rotted away. They're dead inside. Because they've engaged in so many dishonest, fraudulent and degenerate activities to where they are now villainous. They're reprehensible and offensive in character, nature and conduct. They have low standards of behaviour and they have no sense of decency. Because these behaviours that they've been engaged in have had a significant effect on them. It has damaged them to the point where just being in their presence is such an unpleasant experience. It traumatises you. It subjects you to lasting shock because it's disturbing. It intrudes on you. It interrupts you. It makes you feel anxious and upset. It destroys your quietness and peace. It throws everything into disorder and chaos because they're mentally ill. So there will be a lack of order. Because they have an illness that affects their mind and body. So there will be confusion. There will be an upset of health. And a deviation from the normal system or order. Because they are experiencing a significant disturbance in their cognition, emotional regulation and behaviour. They have a disorder that affects their mood, which will cause chaos, clutter and general disarray. And it will make you feel very sad. It will make you feel sorry for them. But there is nothing you can do to help them. All you can do is avoid them like the plague. Stay away from them as much as possible, because they will not inspire growth or positive change. They will not fill you with the urge to do something productive or creative. They will not encourage or breathe life into you. They will discourage you. They will cause you to lose confidence and enthusiasm. They will try to prevent your development by showing disapproval or by creating difficulties, because they do not want to see you succeed. They wish they were you. They wish they had what you have. They wish your life was theirs. And if they can't take it from you, they will just mislead you. They will try to make you just like them. Because they know they're corrupt, and they know they're never going to be anything better. So the best they can do is to try to bring you down with them. They are damaged people, so they will try to damage your life. And they will take whatever they can, because although they may be rotten to the core, at least then they can present an image of something desirable or pleasant. So then they can feel like there's something. Which is why they will take your money and resources. They will take it from you and you will be left with nothing. Because they are nothing. And no matter what they take from you, there will still be nothing. Because they're black holes. So they will suck the life out of you in order to make up for their own deficiency. Because they just want to feel like there's something. The problem is they can only feel like there's something by getting it from you. Whether it's your money or attention. And they can never give anything back to you in return. Because they do not want an equal exchange. They want to be you. And by taking from you without reciprocating, it allows them to feel more and more like you. Until eventually you don't feel like yourself anymore. You don't even know who you are. You're not the person that you used to be. Because all of your money, energy and attention is going to them. And then they get to feel like they are you. Which is why you may just want to be by yourself. Because very few people in this world are actually real. They will do anything to get their own way, despite your own desires or plans. They will have everything done to their own personal preferences and at your expense, so that they can feel like they're winning in their own little make-believe world. And you can't do anything with them. Because they're not willing to do the work. They just want to use people. Because they feel like they need a break from the life that they're living. Because it's the only way they can feel fulfilled. But it never sustains them. And they're always left feeling empty. Because it's all an act. They're not who they pretend to be. They're not even interested in doing the work. They don't feel good doing what is right. Because if it's fair and it's right, then they're going to have a lot less. And you're going to have a lot more. Which is the whole point of why they're corrupt. Because they feel like they're not good enough for themselves. So they're just going to sabotage everything. They're not going to be on the same wavelength. They're not going to build with you. They're going to be in opposition to everything you try to accomplish. Because while you may be superior to them in quality and ability, they want to feel superior to you. They want to have that feeling of being above you. but they don't possess the qualities and abilities to do that for real. So then they degenerate, they become corrupt, they become negative, because they're trying to take from you without giving anything back to you in return. Because they want to be you, they want to take from you, because they've already given up on themselves and their lives. So they can only consider the negative qualities of you, to where they will show a lack of enthusiasm and hope, but they're actually in denial. Because while they're devaluing you, they're still taking from you. They're still using you. Which is why you're better off not being around them. You're better off being alone. Instead of having leeches who are preying on you and sponging off you, and unfairly taking or using things that other people work for. Because life is too short to be around blood-sucking insects. They may appear pleasant and attractive, but that's only because of what they've taken from you. So that isn't really them. They just wish it was them. They're just a second-rate version of you. And that's why they're actually really angry and full of rage. Because they see you as being superior and as being the real deal. So they wish that they were you. But they have to engage in all of these degenerate activities to even get a taste of what it's like to be you. They have to go down in life. They have to get drunk and smoke weed just to even function in their daily lives, because their entire life is a lie. They're not who they present themselves to be, and this is why they have no control over themselves. They lack discipline. They have an inability to regulate their own emotions, and they hate to see you happy and in control. They have to destabilize you to feel better about themselves. They cannot function in a peaceful environment unless everyone is just pretending, because they lack self-awareness. They lack a sense of self, which is why you cannot be yourself when you are around them, because it threatens their false reality. They are very insecure, because their false character is built on a house of cards, so it will collapse with even the slightest hint of criticism, with the slightest hint of anything true or real. They are allergic to the truth. They can't stand truth seekers, truth tellers, seekers of wisdom, because it threatens to expose them, and it makes them feel bad about themselves. Which is why they will do anything they can to stop you from speaking the truth, and they will use every trick in the book. They will gaslight you. They will get you to doubt your own memory, perception and sanity. They will get you to back down because they lack self-control. They have no control over themselves because they're very insecure, and they don't want to do the work to actually become something for real, which is why they will disrupt you and try to prevent you from doing the work. Or if you've already done the work, they will take what you've achieved, because it exposes them. Anything real reveals that they are fake, and if you're not susceptible to doubt your authenticity, then they will just stay far away from you, because they don't want your light to expose their darkness. They don't want you to reveal their faults and defects to themselves. They would rather just play pretend, because they don't like anything real. They don't like it because they're not real, so it reminds them that they're fake. It reminds them that they're dishonest and deceptive. And this is why they can't find fulfillment in anything. It's why they lack feeling and sensation. Because whatever they robbed from you was never what they were about to begin with. It was never something that they were passionate or enthusiastic about. They only find joy in harming people and causing pain and destruction. That's the only thing that makes them feel anything. Because then it's at someone else's expense, without them having to contribute anything, because they can't generate their own power and energy from within. They have none. That's why they're dishonest and deceptive. And this is why they're never happy. This is why they're never at rest. Because they feel empty inside. So they can't share anything with you. They can't build anything with you. They can only take. They can only be negative. While you're being optimistic and confident, you're putting in the work to achieve success. And it's because they can't do it. So now they're very arrogant and entitled. They're expecting something for nothing, all while they're being negative. Because they're delusional. They have an exaggerated sense of their own abilities and importance. They're not as able or as important as they think they are. because it's all just about claiming for themselves more consideration and importance than is warranted, but they're not doing anything for you. They're not doing anything for anyone but themselves. And in fact, they take everyone down with them. They ruin people's lives, while you just want to share your love and positivity with the world. But to them it's negativity, because they were neglected or abused in their childhood, and they're unconsciously expecting you to make up for that, to where they think that you owe them the world, when you have no connection or relevance to what happened to them. It's not even your fault, yet you're still trying to help them, when if anyone should be negative, it's you, because they've been negative to you for a very long time, and yet they're the ones who are opposed to your love and positivity, because they've adopted a false persona. They're trying to be you, and you're trying to be who they should be, because that's what they want you to do. But they're black holes. No matter what you do for a narcissist, it will never be enough, because they can't accept that while they may be mistreated in their childhood, it is now their responsibility to do the inner work as an adult. And this is what keeps them stuck. Which is why no matter how old they get, their lives are still falling apart, because they don't take accountability for themselves. And it's why the best thing you can do is avoid them, because they're undisciplined. They lack a controlled form of behaviour, which is why you will just end up upsetting them, because you're going to feel like you're their parent, as though you're meant to take care of them, because they can't take care of themselves. So they pile everything on you. They hold you responsible for their lives, things that have nothing to do with you, and yet they won't have that same ideology for themselves, even when they've robbed you and destroyed you, because this is just the nature of their disorder. They're leeches, parasites, energy vampires. They can only take from you. They can only figure out ways to manipulate you to get you to do what they want you to do, to serve them, to devote your life and efforts and celebrate them, while they're not doing anything for you. And if anything, they're likely to be a hindrance to your existence. Which is why the worst thing you can ever be around these types of people is successful, because when you're dealing with a covert narcissist, that's going to come at a cost. Even if you jump through all of the hoops and you go through all of the trials and tribulations, your success will only put you at a disadvantage with narcissists. It's not going to result in a favourable outcome, because then you've just set the bar of what they expect from you, which is only going to feed their entitlement, and eventually you're just going to burn out, because there is nothing you can do to sustain them. Which is why they often have multiple sources of supply, because you're just giving and giving and you're getting nothing back in return. You're not even getting a fraction of what you're giving out, so you're gradually being depleted. Which is why only fueling their sense of entitlement and causing them to expect more and more from you. It means that the more successful you are around a covert narcissist, the more difficult it's going to be for you. Because it's just going to be giving them supply, and then they're insatiable. So they're always going to demand more from you without giving anything back to you in return, which is only going to result in failure in the end. It's going to result in you either failing or refusing to perform or fulfill a conditional promise. And because they lack self-awareness, they're not going to see it as though that's something they caused. But even if they were self-aware, they would likely just deny it. So all that happens when you're involved with a covert narcissist is that you gradually get depleted and destroyed. And in the end, you're blamed for your own abuse. You're blamed for your own destruction. You're blamed for everything that they destroyed in you. And then they play the victim and expect everyone to feel bad for them. So you just feel invisible. You feel like no one sees you, because they have no feeling or perception to give to you. They're either in denial or they're not self-aware. So it feels empty. It feels like a void, because you're being drained and it's not amounting to anything. So it's just an empty space, a vacuum. It sucks everything out of you, but because it's unable to sustain itself, it is without contents. It contains nothing. It has no value, no purpose, no meaning. It diminishes you. It's dull, uninteresting, tedious, boring. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button to receive notifications. If you would like to support the channel, you can donate at paypal.me/Narc Survivor. You can book a one-on-one with me on my website. It's narcsurvivor.co.uk. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.